Welcome to our 4 Jars kitchen, and we've got a special video for you today, just in time for Christmas. So we had canned apple pie filling before, so today we are going to bake an apple pie using our filling. So let's go through what you will be needing. You will need flour, cold butter, salt, sugar, ice water. Make sure you have a pie pan, a roller, and of course, your 4 Jars jar opener. So to mix the dough, you have 2 options. You could use a food processor or you can use a pastry cutting tool. Today, we're gonna use the food processor. So the first thing we wanna do is add our flour to the food processor. You wanna make sure that the flour is not all bunched up. So scoop it in and scrape off the top to make it even. And you wanna add 1.5 cups of flour. So that's 1 cup and 1.5 cups. You wanna add your butter, salt, and sugar. And then pulse it just to give it a slight mix. Whisk it around just a little bit. Now we want to add 1 more cup of flour and pulse it a couple more times. And take a look if you feel like you just need to mix it up a little bit before you pulse again. So let's go ahead and pour this mixture into the bowl. We will add 7 tablespoons of iced water into the mixture and go ahead and give it a stir with a spatula. If you need to add more water, just depending on where you're located, you might have drier air, so you'll need a little bit of more water. And just mix and add water as you go. And you will see that your dough is starting to stick together into larger clumps. We will go ahead and take it out of the bowl. Make sure you scrape all of it out. And we're gonna form a ball with your hands, but do not knead the dough, just so that it stays nice and flaky. And be sure to get up all the pieces. So this portion makes 2 pie crusts. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it in half. If you want to save one in the fridge and wrap it in saran wrap for 3 days, or you can save it in your freezer for up to 3 months. Today we're going to use 2 portions because we're going to make a lattice top. We cleaned off our workspace and we're just going to add a little flour where we're going to roll out the dough. And you want to make sure it doesn't stick to the countertop, so you can be generous with the flour. Sprinkle a little bit on top. I always like to flour the rolling pin as well. And you want to get a nice circle big enough for your pie pan. If the ends kind of start to come apart, it's okay. Just put them back together and continue to roll it out. We'll even all of that out. All right, this next part can be a little challenging, but something that I've learned in the kitchen is that any mistake could be hidden. So what we have to do is pick up your pie crust onto your rolling pin. Very gently. Try to roll it up on there. And have your pie pan ready and flip it right into there. Move it around as you need. And then the edges we are gonna fix after we make the lattice top. And so we're gonna go ahead and open our apple pie filling. Did you hear that beautiful sound? And so we want to go ahead and put all of that filling in here. And I'm not gonna lie, I already got a taste of this. So delicious. This apple pie recipe you can find in our previous videos. So just depending on the type of pie pan that you use and the size of jars, you might need to use 2 jars, 3 jars. We're gonna go ahead and do 2 jars because we want our apple pie to be nice and big. And you wanna make sure that you get all of the liquid as much as possible because you want your apple pie to have a little bit more moisture in it. And we cleaned off our workspace and we're gonna go ahead and roll out the top for the lattice. Now for the top of the pie crust, you can use your creativity with how you wanna do it. If you wanna use the whole piece and maybe cut some holes in it, if you wanna use the lattice top, you can cut whichever width you want. You can even do a little decoration cutout if you like to be creative using cookie cutters, and you could place them on top. So that part is all up to you. Today, we're just gonna cut a simple lattice top. And just to show you a really cool little technique that I learned to make the edges look nice and pretty, if you take 2 knuckles on the end and 1 on the inside, and it'll just give you a nice, pretty edge. And since our pie filling was already cooked in the jars, that makes it so much easier because now we only have to wait about 20 to 30 minutes as long as the crust is going to be nice and golden brown and it's going to be ready. So just keep an eye on it, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. So we're going to go ahead and let it cool, and then we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Thank you for joining us in this video. Be blessed.